pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As Councilman McLeod, please set the invocation.
Let's all bow our heads in prayer. Most gracious and everlasting Father, just once more again, we come to say thank you for your grace and mercy. We thank you for blessing us individually and collectively. We ask you to bless the council that we make decisions that's for the betterment of Dillon County, continue to strengthen us and keep us in all your will. All this we ask in your Son, Jesus Christ's name, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Number 3, approval of agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I would suggest H change just to clear up the executive session matters. The first matter, which just says judicial center repairs, is a contractual matter. That needs to be clarified on the record. The Highway 38917 property is both a contractual matter and an economic development matter. County legal matter pertains to a pending lawsuit, and you'll be receiving legal advice at that point. And then the last, employee accommodation, should be changed to read personnel matter at roads and bridges.
Okay. Requires a motion to amend the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we amend the agenda.
Well, I do want to add something to the agenda as well. You want to just one item at a time, or?
Is it something they're going to vote on?
Yes.
They can't take final action on something unless it was on the agenda 24 hours ago.
I got a motion and a second. A motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Now, need a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I made that motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right, got a motion, need a second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? 4, approval of minutes, 7/24/19 regular meeting, 8/02/19 called, 8/28/19 regular. Requires a motion.
Make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Motion in a second. Motion in a second. All in favor? Any opposed? 5, new business. A, Dillon County Financial Audit Report.
It's Shane presenting audit report.
All right, thank you, Chairman. This is a audit summary that we put together. This is for the 6/30/18 audited financial statements. I'm just going to go through here. This highlights the important areas of the audit report, and if you have any questions when I get through, just feel free to ask and I'll answer what I can. Number 1 is the outline of the audited financial statements that were received. There's 4 parts to the audit financial statements. There's a basic financial statements that are pages 5 through 12. There's notes to the financial statements that are pages 13 through 41. There is supplemental information that is required, and that is just other information that are pages 42 through 52. And then there's a compliance section, pages 53 and 54. That makes up the complete audited financial statements that Dillon County received. Number 2 explains the type of funds that Dillon County has. They have 2 types of governmental funds and fiduciary funds. The governmental funds that Dillon County has is the general fund. They have several special revenue funds, which can be found on pages 50 to 52, more information about the special revenue funds. And they have a debt service fund. They also have several agency funds that are presented in the financial statements. Number 3, an analysis of the financial position. As you see, we're just going to highlight the general fund, which is the main fund for Dillon County. I have 18 and 17 information here comparable, so you can see how it was from 17 to 18. But I'm just going to go down the 18 column here. So the total assets for the general fund as of 6/30/18 was almost $11.5 million. The total liabilities were right at 5.2, which left a positive fund balance of right at 6.1 million. That is up from the previous year of a fund balance of 5.3. Now, the breakdown of that fund balance is in 3 different categories, which you'll see here in number 4. You have a non-spendable portion, which is related to some inventory that's on the books, about $31,000. You've committed almost $1 million of that fund balances for several projects as of 6/30/18, which leaves you an unassigned fund balance of right at $5.1 million. Looking at that unassigned fund balance, that is roughly about 20 to 21% of your expenditures. We recommend a healthy fund balance is right at 17 to 20%. So looking at your unassigned fund balance as of 6/30/18, I would consider that a healthy unassigned fund balance. Number 5 is an analysis of the activity. So this will be your revenue and expenditures activity for the year. The total revenues for the general fund for 2018 was right at $22.8 million. And if you're looking at 17, there is a big increase from 17 to 18. That's mainly related to grant funds that we have been receiving, RIF funds for the road work that's being done, all that stuff that's being done. That is the main majority of the increase. Total expenditures were $24.7 million, which left a deficiency of revenues over less expenditures, about $1.8 million. But we had other financing sources that also helped pay for a lot of that capital expenditures that went on, for about $2.6 million, which related to bonds. And it left a positive change in the fund balance of $793,342. Number 6 is revenues versus expenditures and budgets for 2018. So revenues were under budget by $1.2 million, but expenditures were also under budget by $3.1 million, and other financing sources were under budget by $1 million. All that information, budget, revenue versus budget, expenditures versus budget, can be found on pages 42 through 44 in the financial statement. So there's a lot of detail in there that you can see that aligns the budget to actual. The revenues and expenditures detail that I went over just a minute ago can be found on pages 9 and 10 of your audited financial statements, and the balance sheet, which lays out the assets and liabilities and fund balance, is all on page 7. Dillon County received an unmodified opinion. That is the highest level of opinion that we can give on a set of financial statements. That gives council and citizens of Dillon County that they can rely on the financial statements that are presented for Dillon County. We feel that there's no material misstatement in the financial statements. I thank the staff. They all work really hard to try to get us everything that we need. You know, we ask for a lot of documentation. We're here for about 2 weeks, and we know they're doing their job that they have on a daily basis, and it takes a lot from them. So we thank them for their hard work and getting everything that we can to provide a quality audit for Dillon County. And I also like to say, I also need to say that Smith Brooks that works with Dillon County, I think, does a fine job for y'all as well, helping getting the audit ready. And I think that's a relationship that's very important to providing a quality set of financial statements for Dillon County. But with all that being said, you know, we've enjoyed working with Dillon County, and we look forward to working with y'all in the coming years. And if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer any questions y'all might have. Thank you.
I do want to say one thing. This year, for this coming year's audit, just want to let you know we will be in touch with you a lot sooner this time. I know that was a bit of an issue, but we're going to be not only on time, but we're going to be early this year with our audit information. So just look forward to very soon.
We'll be ready whenever you are. So.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
5B, Marlboro Electric Cooperative Incorporated Agreement.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, if you look at your package, it's an agreement that we normally receive from Marlboro Electric Co-op through the utility tax credits program. They've awarded, they will award us $100,000 for Project Craft to be used in the infrastructure needed for Project Craft. Through this agreement, it's pretty much standard. I'll let Alan look at it before we finally see it, so that council, if y'all can approve it based on this very now.
Unless there's a change to it.
It's not.
It's fine.
It's exactly the same. Look at that too. But just to give you a quick update on that, is that Project Craft, we've applied for about 5 different grants. Of course, this grant here is one of them, which if y'all approve this tonight will be awarded. We approved, got one from South Carolina Coordinating Council for $400,000. That's already been approved by the state. The state's already given us approval to the $400,000 CDBG grant. Lindsay Perez with the PD Council of Governments has already completed that project, submitted to the state. We got that one approved. We submitted in another RIA grant to Rural Infrastructure Authority. The grant's in, we should know in October, $300,000. So we got, and then Jeff McKay through Lisa gave us another $20,000 toward this project. So hopefully, the way it looks is that the project will be comprised of putting in a road and putting in the water and sewer infrastructure needed for Project Craft. So at this point, it looks like we should more than have enough to cover the infrastructure cost without the county having to put any money into it.
Okay. Requires a motion.
I make that motion.
A motion in a second.
I third.
Motion in a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? 5C, water, wastewater, and new industrial park road bid proposal on Project Craft.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we, Lisa President and I, with PD Council of Governments originally thought that we would basically use some of the monies through Community Development Block Grant and through the Coordinating Council to do some of the engineering part of it. We originally bid it out in August. We did get 4 bids in. One from Dennis Corporation, Hannah Engineering, Weston Sampson, Thomas and Hutton. They range from $36,000 to $135,000. After reviewing the bids and the project has now changed from the way we were originally going to do it, the way we're going to do it now, based on what the state and the company's proposing. So I'd like to get council to reject all bids on this proposal here. Of course, I always put at the bottom, it says county has a right to reject or any all bids. So that's not a problem. I just need y'all to approve that part of it.
Requires a motion.
I make a motion to reject all these bids.
Got a motion in a second.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? D, Dillon County football field usage.
That issue, that actually was what I was talking about. I want to scratch it from the
Well,
agenda.
if there's nothing discussion, just.
We don't have anything to discuss at this moment because the Director of Parks and Rec, he's not here, Vernon, and I was told that he had already squared the issue away with the parties involved, so we don't need to discuss it.
5E, accommodation tax report and Charles Taylor.
Mr. Chairman, accommodation tax. This was voted on yesterday. Y'all can look over it. Our numbers we worked from, this is according to the finance director, $126,027 is what come back in accommodation tax. The general fund gets 25 off the top, then an additional 5% goes into the general fund. And advertising is $30,308. Left us a balance for tourism for $65,668.09. That's what this we had a little carryover from last year, so we was, whatever that, the total is 65.7, and we was about $30. So we're good from last year's money, so everything will balance itself out. I just need a vote from y'all, if y'all agree with it, and that's it.
I make a motion, Chairman, going over your recommendation.
Got a motion, need a second. Got a motion and a second, any more discussion? All in favor?
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Charles.
Thank you.
5F, recreation report.
Okay, we have one from, that Kenya Williams is gonna be, doing a 4th annual trunk or treat for the youth at Newtown Park on October 31st. And, G is giving $200. Does anybody else want to give in? Right, and then we have one from, James Campbell, that he was gonna give $400 to Dillon for their, equipment and stuff that they needed to have. Don't wanna give into that. And then we have one for, Help for Veterans, it's a health fair for the Dillon County veterans and their families. It's gonna be sponsored by, I think the Herald Office, is that right?
Well, it's like, it's the group is Help for Veterans and they're sponsoring the health fair.
Okay. It's
But
gonna
yeah,
be
me
at
and
the
Johnny,
city-
this our thing.
The City of Dillon Wellness Center on October the 17th, from 11 to 1:30. And, it says the event will be held, which I told you, at the City of Dillon. They are inviting you to contribute to the meaningful event. There's no charge for vendors to participate in this event. No admission fees for veterans. Beverages and light snacks will be available. There's some on here where there's going to be a free pork bog meal, door prizes, information, health screening, and various vendors. So would y'all like to give to that?
I had to give $100.
Get 50.
Steve? That's all I have for right now.
Requires a motion.
Make a motion, Mr. West.
Got a motion, need a second.
Second.
Motion second, any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? 5G, department heads attendance.
Okay, so what we want to entertain is the notion of having department heads, especially those that we deem are critical, to be here at the council meetings. And we do understand that those department heads have a duty. And even on Wednesday at 4 o'clock, some of them are working. So, of course, that would take precedence over coming to the meeting. But whenever they're able, a lot of times we have questions as far as with, especially roads and bridges, and with the landfill, and a few others that we may need them here. Issues have come up from time to time that we would need to speak with them and have them explain certain issues that come up. Especially when we have them on the agenda, but even without them on the agenda, we do need those department heads to be here for the meeting. I would like that to be in a policy.
That's just the regular meeting every month.
Yeah, the regular, and not the call meeting. Now, the call meetings are different. Call meetings, I would not expect them to be there for the call meetings unless an item that affects their department is on the agenda.
They come back, they're on time, but they're gonna get comp time for coming up here.
I think they deserve to have comp time. If it runs over 5 o'clock, then they should be able to get comp time. I mean, I just want to be fair to them as well.
Requires a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make that motion that all department heads be in attendance at the meetings.
Motion need a second.
I second.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? 5H, replacing corner vehicle.
This Donnie Grimsley's Tahoe he has was in an accident. It wasn't Donnie's fault, but his Tahoe has been totaled. And it's kind of a recent development that it got totaled. We don't have a firm figure on, they estimate the insurance to be around at least $20,000 on it. And he requested us to replace that car. We hadn't looked at any used cars or anything, but I priced the new car off the state contract with four-wheel drive. He was able to save his winch off the old one, but the new price is $38,557.
What's wrong with the vehicle now?
It was in an accident. It wasn't his fault, and they just totaled his car.
We have insurance on it? We have insurance on it?
Yeah, they did. They had we expect about $20,000 in insurance.
Let me clarify, it was a 2013, am I correct? And so, we haven't priced a 2013 to replace it. He's just given the price of the newer one, the brand new one, so that's something to consider as well. The fact that it's the price of the new one.
Have we got some extra vehicles in the county?
I mean, would we want to wait until we get that clear figure from them and just do a call meeting? I mean, that's an option.
We could either way.
Requires a motion.
Well, as he was saying, we're going to have some call meetings this month anyway. We don't have the exact figure from the insurance company, and we also haven't gotten all the information as far as 2013 or maybe a 2015 or something that's a little newer. We just need to get a little more information, I would think. And so that was my recommendation.
Got a vote to table. Need somebody make a motion to table? Got a motion to table, it, need a second?
A second.
Any discussion, all in favor? Any opposed? 7, old business A, mosquito spray and schedule.
Okay, as we discussed in the last meeting, we were gonna notify the public what that schedule would be. We went and talked to the South Carolina Beekeepers Association, the branch in Dillon County, and they approved the schedule that we proposed to them, and it is as follows. We're going to be spraying Monday morning, Monday evening, Wednesday morning, Wednesday evening, Friday morning, and Friday evening. So Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. On Mondays, District 3 and 5 morning, which will be Riverdale, Mount Calvary, Tall Pines, and Hamer. Monday evening, it will be District 7, Floydale, Okie Point, and Black Branch Road. Wednesday morning, Haynesworth, District 2, Haynesworth, Joanne Branch Road, Kemper Road, Gaddys Mill Road. Wednesday evening, District 4, Oak Grove, Henry Street Extension, Sunset Drive, Latimer Street Extension. Friday morning, District 5 and 1, Little Rock, Oakland, Newtown. Friday evening, District 6, Bowling Green Loop, Free States, and Bingham. And that schedule, I'll be glad to get a copy of it and give each one of you, and you'll be able to publish it.
Yeah, I've been putting it on Facebook.
Sure. We can publish that schedule to the public information. But I just wanted to get that schedule out
We
now.
vote on this, and we're going to vote straight up.
Yeah, we voted to do the program. We just,
I don't think you have to put it on. I think you gave him the go ahead to do it. Yeah.
That it?
that's it.
7B, Lakeview Agreement.
Mr. Chairman, this is an agreement that some of you may recall, that was brought to the county, I guess about a year, maybe about a year ago or so initially. And regarding the capital project sales tax money from, I think, in 2002. And as you know, there was some excess funds left, and the county called it LATA area funds and Lakeview area funds. And This is an agreement under which the county will make reimbursements to the city of Lakeview for certain infrastructure projects that they're going to do over the next 5 years. Now, one of them, this agreement is different than the last one you saw because, as you may recall, a few months ago, there was a project approved to be reimbursed in the amount of $52,000. And so that money has been also wrapped into this agreement, and as part of that agreement. So it won't be in addition to the old agreement. This is incorporating what you voted on a few months ago to put in the agreement. And so if the agreement is approved, there'll be up to a $52,000 reimbursement for what Lakeview's done already. And then you'll see a schedule, you see it on in your packet. Beginning in 2021, all these payments are due on February 1st. 2021, there's a $58,000 payment. And then 2022, 23, 24, and 25 would be a $60,000 payment. And this will resolve any issues regarding the monies. Lakeview will not say that they have any claim to any remaining money that's out there, and this will resolve any of the issues regarding that money. And I don't know if the mayor wants to.
Well, I do want to say that the town of Lakeview's council voted on this, and they approved it unanimously. Okay, so this is something that reflects the will of the people of the town of Lakeview, and I do want to give Matthew a chance to expand on that if he wants to. But yeah, I think it's important that we reflect the view and reflect the will of the town of Lakeview when it comes to this money, as far as their side of the agreement. So, did you have anything you wanted to say about it?
I mean, yeah, I can elaborate any, I can take any questions. So, Mr. Allen explained it very well. This is an agreement between the town and the county. We feel like that lake that was promised for Lakeview was very close to town limits, and Lakeview would have been the biggest impact of it. As you can tell, we did not go for what was deemed all of that money. We went for a portion of it, or we're asking for a portion of it. And what we're going to do is we're going to manage that money. We're going to be accountable with it. Also in that agreement, it states that we are transparent with you guys, producing receipts and all. I think about 8 months after we receive the lump sum. That way we keep a good open dialogue between each other. Y'all can see what the money's spent for. Y'all can approve it. Y'all can disapprove it. If you disapprove, the money is, basically we go into a mitigation and we try to prove that we were used in the right way. I think it's a good deal for the county. I'm super excited to have it on the table. I'm glad to have a good council here in front of us, and I hope y'all look at it and think it's a good deal for Lakeview. I don't know one person that doesn't want this to happen, and it's a much needed action to take place. Like I said, it's been since 2002, so it's been awarded everywhere else in the county, starting up to 15 years ago. But I hope y'all take this chance to make it right with the people of Lakeview, and we look forward to y'all's decisions.
If I'm not mistaken, these projects help people, not just in the town of Lakeview, just like your recreation. Majority of those are even outside the town of Lakeview.
Oh, absolutely. Our recreation is probably at least 70% people in the district versus 30% in the town. I'd say it's probably even closer to 80-20. It goes to recreation, development of the park, infrastructure, whatever is needed in town of Lakeview. Some of the big projects that we've got, we've talked about as a council, and this project will be decided on as a group, as council. So there will be some diversity in the discussion. Is Veterans Park, improvements to the much-needed recreation department that was built in the 70s and hasn't had much improvement done since. We just did the bathrooms. We're calling for a lot of walking and safety features at our new walking track, or lights on it, and also a potential splash pad in the future, which would be something great for our low-income kids around Lakeview that they can do, and they won't have to go anywhere. It won't have to cost anybody anything. And of course, it will be open to the public, everybody in the district as well as surrounding areas.
Can I ask a question?
They run.
Oh, well, can I, with the money that's gonna be given, now, I live in Lakeview, on what they call the hill, so what's being done about that? That park located there needs an upgrade. It needs to be upgraded. It's not child-proof. To me, it's not child-proof. It just needs upgrading. So what's going to be done with that? Is some of that money gonna be spent to upgrade that park to make it look like something in the
Yes, it
21st
will.
century? Well, he asked me to direct it to you.
And this here won't, that'd be a different county issue there. If
So
that's a
there's,
county park,
so I mean, I don't understand what you're saying.
then that's a different issue. If that's a county park, then, is that a county park, or?
Oh, I don't know.
It's not.
I live in the town of Lakeview, so I don't know what is, I don't know what it
So, let me
is.
just say that if that's a county park, then what we need to do is we need to figure out what you would like to see done with it.
Yeah, because I have a problem with that.
Okay, so if it is a county, first we need to find out if it's a county park that you're talking about. I'm not sure where you're talking about.
Yeah, the
But if
park up there on the hill.
If it's a county park,
by the
let us know.
cemetery.
And then we'll see if we can put it, but if it's not a county park, then I'm not sure if there's anything we can even do with it with county funds. Because if it's not a county park, then we can't really do anything with
All right,
it.
so how would I find out if it's a county park or if it's not a county park? He told me to direct the question to them.
I'll take anything that y'all would like for me to answer. I don't want this meeting to get out of hand and I'll take it.
I just asked the question.
Sure.
Anybody got anything else?
I'll find out for you.
Okay, thank you.
I'll find out for you.
It requires a motion.
I make the motion to approve the agreement between
Got a motion, need a second.
I second.
Got a motion and a second, any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Eight, finance report.
This is as of September 19th. Our general fund, we got $2,824,765. We got accounts payable come out of that, $857,324. This leaves us a available balance of $1,967,440. That's available to spend. Total restricted funds now is $2,962,827. That's been increased, but we hold the C funds money as well now. In the restricted funds.
All right, 9, administrative report.
You see that?
2016-2017, this county spent $525,000 on labor alone for our county vehicles. In 2017-2018, the county spent $534,000 in labor alone in repairs of county vehicles. In 2018-2019, this county spent $605,000 in labor alone for county vehicles. I know many of you heard last month when a lot of our residents had complaints about the landfill, which is part of our county vehicles and our equipment, where 75% of those repairs actually took place at the landfill, okay? And we heard your complaints loud and clear. In fact, the reason for me giving these numbers is to, and I could have gone back further, is I want everyone to understand that this is a problem that's been in this county for years and years. And it's a problem that the councilmen have told me about since I've been here, that we've had problems. And so it's up to me to fix these problems, regardless of whether they were here at my fault or not. It's my duty to make sure that we try to fix these problems. Well, in the 2017-2018 budget, there was money borrowed in a GO bond, part of which was to fund the purchase of a $275,000 front-end loader to go to the landfill. That was previous administrator. I had nothing to do with that, and that money was spent, absorbed in the budget, absorbed into, I think it was payroll and other expenses. Okay, so now we're in 2019-2020 fiscal year. We have to make changes, and part of those changes we made, we hired a mechanic for the county, And I'm not saying that mechanic will fix every issue that we had, but if any of you who know about heavy machinery and long distance trucks, it's not about what that person can do to fix the truck. It's about the preventive maintenance. And we have figured that we could have prevented about 85% of our costs with preventive maintenance. So we are going to be employing, and he started actually Monday, and this week alone, that mechanic saved us $300 on a switch that we would have taken out to get fixed, and also about $2,300 on a fuse system on one of the trucks. And he fixed it himself in about 3 hours. It's something that we were going to send out to get fixed with the Mac dealership. So I just want everyone to know that, well, first of all, any problem we've had at the landfill, and again, we've had several over the past few years, every problem we've had has been a result of faulty equipment. Okay, we've had trucks that went down, so therefore we couldn't get the trash to get to Lee County, and it backed up. That resulted in complaints from the Gordonville district right next door, and it also resulted in us facing $160,000 worth of fines. We didn't have to pay those fines because we got it cleaned up and we started operating the landfill as it should have been. So we are making some progress. I just want the people to know, I want the citizens of Dillon County to know, once again, you know, these councilmen heard your complaints loud and clear. We heard them all last month and the month before, and it's due to the fact that we have had faulty equipment. And so instead of just, let me back up for a second. Each one of these 3 years, we spent over $100,000 in rental fees for trucks because we had to replace those trucks while we were having them fixed. Okay, so we heard you loud and clear. We're going to do what we can to make sure that we not only just fix the problem for now, but that we permanently have a solution so that landfill can operate a lot better. But that's not the only thing. We're going to be, that mechanic that will be used will also be able to work on hydraulic equipment that we use at roads and bridges. So the motor graders, once we get the personnel, we'll be making sure that those motor graders, all 4 of them, are able to go throughout the county, and that helps us when we're trying to build the roads. Last year we had that issue, and again, I was a little new here, so I didn't fully understand what the root of the issue was. I just knew that we never had enough plowers out on the roads, and we were always lacking. Where are the motor graders? Well, we have them. They were just not in operation. So that's a problem that we expect to have fixed. And I don't want to make any strict promises, but the landfill equipment, I feel very comfortable saying that we will have that done by the end of October. Every piece of landfill equipment will be up to par by that time. It will be some expenses. We do have some things to replace, but after that, we will be at a point where everything in the landfill is going to be on schedule. Now, as far as the roads and bridges equipment, it'll probably be near the end of the year where we will have everything up to par where we can operate as we should. So I'm willing to entertain any questions about the landfill issues or any other issues that you may have had. That's all from my report.
Yes, Tony, you think it'd be possible if you have him to produce like preventive maintenance schedule moving
Sure.
forward? So you don't
Sure.
have to wait for stuff to tear up, he can be working on this.
Sure.
stuff
And that's the whole purpose of hiring that mechanic. Again, it's not to do $600,000 worth of work. It's to do maybe $100,000 worth of work that will prevent $600,000 worth of work. And so, as far as like the long distance trucks, it takes us 3 to actually run the routes we need to run to go back and forth to Lee County, the trash every day. We have 5. Right now, well, as of 2 weeks ago, there was only 1 running of 5 trucks. Now we have 2. As of tomorrow, we should have 3. As of by October 15th, we should have all 5, which will allow us to run the schedule, have a spare, and also have a truck to put in and out of rotation. And you need that. We all know that if you have vehicles, once you can rotate them, you can actually make them last a lot longer and without any problems. So we're going to be on that preventive maintenance schedule for the trucks. For the other equipment, we have to just figure out what's wrong with everything, and once we get that, and once we diagnose that, we'll figure out a schedule that we can we can do for that.
Is this mechanic going to be able to, give each piece of equipment a billion number or a
Yes.
number, and so we can track the money to spend on each one of these?
So I'll be presenting you, if it costs more than $5,000, there's a software that we need, that we would track this equipment as far as, it would track the piece of equipment, what it was done to it, part number, et cetera, cost of the parts, the hours spent on it, so it would be a comparative amount for labor that we would have spent, and then the dates and everything else. And we will be able to keep track of that so that at any minute, I can go on my computer and pull up a report and give you maybe a monthly or quarterly report of what we're spending on total, or by piece, or by date, or however we need it. So we're going to be getting that so that we can keep track of that, because that's just the only way that we're going to do it.
Also, if he runs into a situation that he can't handle, at that point, would he get with you, the girl, to make sure?
Yes. So outside of any kind of preventive maintenance or things that he would be able to do, it would be like any other situation where he would bring it to me and I'll bring it before council to let you know that we've done everything we could with this vehicle, with our mechanic, but then we need to take it to the outside. But, I'll just tell you that from what he fixed already, one of the issues was from a company that we use from the outside, and they said they had fixed it, but it wasn't right, and then he actually did it. So I suspect with a lot of the issues, he will be able to do some of the things that some of our companies were trying to do. And as we know, we've had equipment fixed, and 2 months later, the same thing on the same piece of equipment. So I'm just being honest here. I don't have a lot of faith in what we've done with our vendors from the outside. And I'm not trying to disparage anyone or any of our vendors, but we've had some issues with repetitive repairs on certain pieces of equipment. So, I don't think he'll be any worse than what we have already, and I think it'll be much better from what I've already seen.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
10, ordinance reading. A, second reading, an ordinance by Dillon County Council to amend the official zoning map of Dillon County to rezone a parcel of land known as tax map number 058-00-00-056 from a rural to light industrial for industrial development.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, this is just second reading on Project Craft to rezone the property from agricultural to industrial development, since it's going to be industrial operation in that particular operation building.
Requires a motion.
Make that motion.
Got a motion, need a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? 10B, first reading, an ordinance to amend an agreement for the development of a Dillon County Industrial Business Park of Dillon and Marlboro County as to enlarge the park. Project Craft.
And Mr. Chairman, this is an agreement for Project Craft. Also, for them to qualify for a fee in lieu of tax agreement, they have to be put in the multi-county industrial park. So we decided to break away from Marion and do one with Marlboro County on this particular project.
There's a motion.
I make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion, need a second. Just a second, any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? 10C, first reading, an ordinance to terminate and release a land option agreement between Joseph E. Coward, optioner, and Dillon County, optionee for tax map number 068-00-00-030.
Mr. Chairman, this is, as you may know, you have an option, the county still has an option on that land. It's land that's right by the port, the state port authority. And there's some negotiations now, and I believe a contract's actually been signed to sell that property. Of course, with the option in place, that title issue's got to be cleared up by the county releasing the option, so the company purchasing the land have title that's clear. And so that's the only purpose for releasing this option. As far as I know, the county doesn't intend to exercise the option, and it's going to expire, I believe, in February anyway.
Right. Mr. Chairman, I've been working with that project too, so it's Commerce and myself and working on that project. So it's, I agree with Attorney Allen there, but the options should be released at this time.
Requires a motion.
Make a motion to terminate the lease of land holding agreement between Douglas Calvin.
This is the first reading by title only.
Okay. Got a motion, need a second. A motion and a second, any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? 11, appointments. A, Planning Commission, District 1, James Campbell, he's not here. 11B, Planning Commission, District 5, Harold Moody.
Yes, sir, I'd like to, nominate Gene Hill.
Got a motion to appoint, you want to appoint Gene Hill, requires a motion. You make the motion?
Yeah, I'm like,
Okay. All right, got a motion to appoint Gene Hill, need a second?
A second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, 12, executive session, judicial center repairs. What all,
Contractual matter regarding judicial center repairs, economic development, and contractual issues regarding Highway 38 917 property, county legal matters regarding a lawsuit, pending lawsuit, and a personnel matter at Rosemary.
all right, it requires a motion to go into executive session.
Mr. Chair, we go into executive session.
Motion made a second. Motion a second. All in favor?
We should expect to do that thing, we don't leave.
All right. We'll now be going to executive session where no action will be taken.
At least not, you know, I
You know, when it's over, everybody can go back in if they like to.
Personnel.